So last session, we talked about what vertical angles are. So just as a quick recap, it's going to be the verticals directly over the point of intersection. So this angle CTF is going to be vertical to BTD. Okay, they're going to be equal to each other. And knowing that helps us set up our equations. So if we know that vertical angles are equal to each other, we're literally going to write the expression into an equation. So we know that CTF, so angle CTF, if we need to label it here for you, angle CTF is the same as 4R plus 34. We're essentially going to substitute this expression in for CTF. And because we know the definition of vertical angles are they're equal to each other, we're going to put equal. So we're taking this expression, making it an equation, and it's equal to angle BTD, which means that we are going to substitute 66 in for BTD, okay? And then from here, we need to be able to solve it. So this is where knowing how to solve two-step equations comes back in from algebra. So again, you might have been shown different ways. My suggestion is always draw a line through the equal sign. The goal is to get the variable by itself. We're going to have to get rid of this plus 34. We always have to get rid of addition or subtraction first. So instead of adding 34, we're going to have to subtract 34, right? Because that's how it cancels this out, which leaves us 4R equals, and again, just throw it in the calculator, 32. And then to get R by itself, right now it's multiplying. To go across the equal sign, we have to do the opposite, just like we did up here. So opposite of multiplying is dividing, which gets us R equals 32 divided by 4, which is 8. Okay, so R equals 8. So, but it doesn't want us to find R, it wants us to find the measure of CTF. So we have to know the fact that we have to continue with this. Whenever we know what a variable equals, we can substitute it into the problem. So it wants us to find the measurement of CTF, which is 4 times 8 plus 34. Well, 4 times 8 is 32. And 32 plus 34 gets us 66. But here's my question. Do we really even need to do the math there? Like, we should know that that's what it's going to equal because they're vertical angles, right? So I would really prefer for them to ask us what R equals, but in this case, it wanted CTF. So we didn't even have to do the math on this one, but we did just to make sure you know what's going on. So since they're vertical angles, it is 66. And then down here, it says, what's the value of R, right? So down here, we have to make sure we use this piece where we had to do the math. So be careful what it's asking you in each section, and it will not let you skip the first one to go to the second one. You have to do the first one first, okay? So it gets us there, and now it skips us to the next problem. Okay, so there might be multiple pieces on these. This one says, use the diagram below to answer the question. So we have DFH, so angle DFH is vertical to angle BFR. And then we can just substitute what it gives us. So DFH is negative 16p. And BFR is 112. And it wants to know what the angle of DFH is going to equal. Well, it's going to equal 112, right? Like they're vertical. So this first part, we can go ahead here and say it's 112. Make sure that that's right. And then here it wants us to solve for the value of P. So again, back to this, I would draw the line to get P by itself. Right now it's multiplying, I have to divide. And then that's going to get us P equals, and I know that's going to be a negative, so always kind of do the integer rules in your head to make sure you don't get the signs wrong. So a positive and a negative is going to get me a negative, and when I put that in the calculator, it gets me 7. So P is negative 7. And again, if you wanted to check it and make sure you're right before you put that in, you can always substitute that in. So you could come over here and do negative 16 times negative 7 and put that in your calculator and make sure it equals back out to 112. So we kind of got a built-in checklist there to make sure that you are getting it right. Okay, let's do a couple more. So the first one, it says find RCK. So at this point, we're starting to see a pattern here. RCK is going to be vertical to BCY. So I know it's going to be 46. And then it wants us to find the value of D. So we're going to say, and if you are understanding this now and don't need to write this part, you can like skip it if you want. If it helps you, you could do that as well. Okay, totally up to you. But RCK is 36 plus D equals BCY is 46. And now I know I have to solve it. So to get D by itself, I have to subtract 36. So that gets us D equals 10. Okay, and then I can double check it. 36 plus 10 equals 46, which is exactly what it said right here. So D equals 10. Okay, and let's do one more. So again, it wants FPB. So FPB is this expression, and RPM is 105. So I know they're vertical. And we're going to go ahead and just say, well, that's 105. And it told us it's right. And then we're going to solve for the value of D. So again, FPB, if you just want to jump to this and not write down the vert or the angles, you can. That just shows you're starting to get the point of what we're doing. And then to get D by itself, I have to subtract 85. So that means D equals 105 minus 85 is 20. Okay, and again, if you want to double check so you don't get it wrong, just substitute it in here. 20 plus 85 does get me 105. So we can guarantee, so we can guarantee that this answer is right. So as always, if you have any questions, feel free to message, set a schedule, and we will get together and work on this. If not, 10 points on Get More Math. It's up to you.